Hey everyone. Oh my gosh, it's been the most beautiful day here. I can't tell you. It's been no rain, which is just like a treat these days. Again, I know some people desperately need rain. It's always weird. We're never satisfied as gardeners, right? It's been like beautiful sunny day, nice temperature. Just got cool enough out here. It's evening. Just got cool enough out here that I had to put a whoopee on, and it's just been great. We're doing a little bit more strolling than sipping tonight because we've already had a cocktail because I was waiting for the neighbors to get done with their lawn, and they did the whole enchilada. Lawnmower, string trimmer, leaf blower, the whole thing. But here we are, 6:30 Saturday night, and we're going to start off today's unedited garden stroll with a little bit of postcards. Postcard project, we've talked about it before. This is where people send me postcards or letters with inspiration that they've found in a garden so I can share it with all of you. And this is Dow Gardens Children's Garden in this postcard right here. Hi Erin, I've been meaning to send this off to you for ages. Love that you do this postcard segment. Dow Gardens in Midland, Michigan is an amazing place to visit. My sister lives in Midland and takes her 4 grands weekly for visits. They are very involved in the Growing Gardeners program for kids where they grow and tend their own garden plot. Love your channel. This is from Susan. Thank you so much, Susan. Also, high marks on the stamp, Susan. Love that sailboat postcard stamp. Look at that, so cool. If people live near a botanical garden with a children's garden and they're able to take children in their life to that, I have to think that makes a huge difference in a kid's life. I have to think that's formative for kids. Here's one from Carissa again, who we featured a postcard from her last week. This is from, oh gosh, here's one that I'm going to mess up the pronunciation. I would say that's Bladel. O-E around here we say as an A. Okay. Okay, this is Carissa in British Columbia, Canada again. Bladel Conservatory is a wonderful place filled with tropical birds and plants. I also walked around the stunning Queen Elizabeth Park. The Quarry Garden, pictured on front, is surreal. She says, hello again. We spent the weekend in Vancouver, so I was able to tour both of these fantastic gardens. Oh, I bet you this came, the postcards probably were sent at the same time. It didn't come at the same time. I found them so inspiring, down to plant combinations, the use of contrasting colors and textures, etc. I have a video on my channel if you want to see some of my favorite spots. Thanks for all you do. Her channel name is Carissa's Garden. So last week, several people said they love that channel, so do check out Carissa's Garden. And then I have a letter with some pictures here. And Susan took the time to print out photos. And, you know, like, I know that takes time. I know it's a pain in the butt. And it's so nice that people do that. So I'm going to show you all of them here, but I'll put this one up. Oh, this is fun. Okay. I just saw where this is. Dear Erin, love your videos and how you keep it real in the garden. Recently, I had the pleasure of visiting Jim and Steph Putnam's garden in North Carolina during their Open a Garden event in June. You know, Jim and Steph came up here the summer before last, I think, and it was so cool. And there's so many great gardens down in North Carolina. And if I had any time at the time of year they did this, part of me thought, wouldn't it be cool to go down there and just show up and just say, hey, Jim and Steph, here I am. You know, I love Jim's channel. I love Jim, love Steph. They're wonderful people. Okay. Jim's a gardening hero of mine, so I made a trip to see his garden and wrote my sister and niece into the adventure. The garden was lush and beautifully layered with color and interest at every angle. There were elements of fun and whimsy through the space, like the succulent planted candelabra with St. John's wort in the background. That brigadoon was absolutely electric. Brigadoon apparently is a common name for St. John's wort, which I did not know. Or maybe that's the variety. You will also see pictures of pineapple lily, agapanthus, a palm tree, and the iconic Hortube shed. There's the shed. We also visited Duke Gardens in Riley, which was grand and breathtaking, but the highlight of the trip was the Putnam Garden. There's something special about a smaller garden that has a story. Thank you for your insight and sharing your garden with us. Look forward to seeing you on YouTube. This is from Susan Bello. Yeah, I would have loved to go to that, and I do love Jim's channel. Jim does color really, really well. And Steph is like really like a lover of annuals. They both come from a horticulture background. They're both incredibly knowledgeable people. I love these pictures because, like, look at that pineapple lily. I love seeing the things that caught people's eyes because we've all seen Jim's garden and, excuse me, Jim and Steph's garden. So it's so cool to see the things that made someone stop and take a picture, like these beautiful dahlias that we're seeing here. I'm thinking that's either a barberry or a loropetalum in the background there. Here's a little palm. I don't think I've ever seen that in Jim's garden. It's amazing. Susan, thank you for sending that. I'm so glad you got down to their garden. What a treat that must have been. And I gotta get myself on my own little garden tour. Go visit some of these people who have visited me and see their gardens. Speaking of tours, let's go for one right now. The garden is, you know, I would say some parts of the garden are looking really good and some parts are really bad. All right, let's go. I just want to start here because the Royal Sunset lilies are in full bloom. So I told you when I planted this container, don't worry, there's going to be color behind it, and there will be more color coming because there are dahlias planted back there too. But in addition to these beautiful Royal Sunsets, which have never been this tall before, this planter is looking really good. Look at the Kent Beauty. I think I showed you this last week, actually, so maybe I shouldn't spend that much time on it. But I think it's looking, I love it. I think it's looking really, really good. I do want to focus on some of the containers that are around today because they are looking good. I can't even talk about the Rosy Teacups dogwood anymore. I will just say that I'm certain that the reason why some of these plants have looked so good for so long is all the rain that we've had. This, did I show you this? I can't remember what I showed you last week already, but look at, so I've got the Mangabe Navajo Princess here, and I'm so happy that the alyssum that I planted in here is filling in now because it's all coming together here. Very, very happy. I planted and I've been growing these guys in pots. This is Acidenthera. Orchid lily. Oh, it's a little skeetery. Tiny Tough Stuff is looking great. Tomorrow's project is dealing with that heap of Kinsley's Ghost back there. But Tiny Tough Stuff is looking so good. And this has always happened. The ones on this end have always been pinker and the ones on this end have always been bluer. Even though they're all treated the same way. I love how the color kind of undulates throughout. This container is, I would like to see the flowers flowering a little bit more, to be perfectly honest. The Superbinas seem to be completely out of flower. The alyssums seem to be mostly out of flower. I would feel better if I was seeing more flowers, to be perfectly honest. Here's more of that Royal Sunset. And last week I showed you Prince Charles coming through the limelight here. Still, obviously, still looks great. Hopefully you caught my video that would have gone up yesterday if you're watching this on Sunday of the path. I'm so happy I finally got it renovated. It really took a long time to get that done. I showed you this little pocket of the garden last week and it's still looking really good. It's by far the best it's ever looked, for sure. That was kind of Valley Girl of me, wasn't it? For sure. These are still, actually, I'm shocked that the slugs haven't totally demolished this because they've certainly demolished many other things. Let's walk down here and take a look at these two. Oh, let me just turn this around quickly so I can just tell you the sad news. We had a major deer attack last night. So it's been so rainy that I've not been able to do deer repellent for 2 weeks because we haven't gone more than 24 hours without rain at any point. So I was not able to put deer repellent out. Last night it rained at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I thought, well, I might be able to get out there, but the leaves are all still going to be wet. And I woke up this morning and I should have gone out and done it. So many things got eaten by deer last night. Like, it's shocking. Shocking how much stuff got, it's pretty sad actually. But whatever, that's how it goes. Let's take a look at these containers. So I did apply deer repellent. So if you see little spots of deer repellent, that's because I laid it on thick today. I would like to see the begonias in this container doing more begonia things. They're small still. So I've been fertilizing, and I keep kind of nipping back the plectranthus so that it doesn't eat the container. The Angiostar fatshedera, also known as fatshedera, is just going gangbusters. That is a good plant. Dorothy, are you coming? So here's this plant. Gosh, it's probably, hi, hello, hi. It's a little dark to show you some things. This planter is actually looking really good. I'm loving the blue zinger carex in there. And the begonias are fine. I have to say that the Ruby Ruffles patio peach is not exactly growing as fast as I was hoping to. Now we've got new growth coming. I'm just a little impatient, and I just wish it were a little bit more than what it is there. As of yesterday, these bush honeysuckle, I drove over them today. That was not the deer's fault. But the bush honeysuckles were covered in yellow flowers. And then I came out this morning and they were all nipped off at the top. Now they don't eat anything but the flowers. They just nip them off at the top. But I was so disappointed because I was really looking forward to showing those to you guys. The clethra is putting up a lot of little buds. I'm so happy. At some point during the process, I was saying I didn't know when I was supposed to like prune off the old stuff. And several people commented and said they never do. So that's exactly what I did. And it doesn't bother me at all. Here's a really big burdock. I tried to pull it out. I'm like, oh no, we need shovels for that. There's a lot of weeds in this bed, and it'll get better with time. But and then of course, you can see we had some of the deer took some of the hydrangea stems. Whatever. I'm not gonna angst about it too much. Let's just pop back up here. I do want to show you these containers. I don't wonder what the best angle is for this. Let's try this maybe. I'm so happy with this golden curls willow in here. I think that is just a stellar combo and a stellar thriller in a pot. The other one's is a little lopsided. This one's by far better. Here's the window box. Looking forward to seeing a little bit more growth in that. But you know what? It's coming along quite nicely. Down here, we've got some of the, you can starting to see the chartreuse really coming out, which is nice. This is Pearl de Azur clematis, which I should really pin up a little bit more. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the plant pile. Do you see that? That's a girl who's like half an hour away from having every plant out of a pot. It'll happen early tomorrow morning. The deer even, look at those buggers. They ate my sweet potato vine. I mean, what sort of demented deer do that kind of thing? So everything has been sprayed to within an inch of a life. I thought this was, did I do Milena Fleur in here? No, Melody, oh gosh. I'm sure there's a tag in there. I don't feel like looking for it. To be honest, the point is we have a dahlia blooming, so that's nice. Betty Corning clematis coming up here. I'm going to cut back, and I think we'll probably do a video. We're cutting back a lot of stuff. Chives are all getting a cut back. So they have reached, they're kind of looking a little sad. Cut them all back. I can cut them back 2-3 times a year, and they always look great and bounce back quickly. These poppies, they're not even like my favorite, but they're just so ridiculous. I kind of like them. We have a couple of different clematis here. This one is Star River, and I think that's a gorgeous one. I mean, even look at the back. I mean, you can see this guy's kind of pinned in here by all these vines. But can you see how it's like striped at the back? There's at least 3 or 4 clematis all grown in here, but this is probably 2 different ones that we're seeing here right now. What's next? Where should we go next? Let's go this way. So they nailed these hydrangeas too, which is really sad because these are by far the best looking ones right now. This is Haas Halo. I'm so into the lace caps. Look at those jerks. I was gonna say a worse word than that. Just beautiful. I can't believe these were planted last year. Last year, actually, probably exactly a year ago, I planted these because it was right before I went to cultivate last year. It was like hot, and we were like, just throw them in the ground. We're gonna pop this way first, and then I'll double back to go down the path there. I probably should think about keeping this bronze fennel a little bit more in check, but it is gonna flower and it's pretty. Silver linings, Artemisia down there, still loving that plant. We've got all the stackies is in bloom. I think it's Summer Crush and Summer Romance, although this one could be Humalo, I'm not positive. I think there's a video coming if I can get it edited. I added a few plants to this garden. It was an improvement. The big shrub-ish that you see there is Cornus moss, Cornelian cherry dogwood, and planted in 2020 as a fairly big plant. So these go up and then they go out, and it's amazing how wide it's getting, which I'm thrilled about. The whole point of putting that there was to block our view from the road, and it is doing its job well. Some Ellen thalictrums coming up through here. A pile of Geranium macrorhizum there, which I pulled out because there was just too much of it, and I needed to add in some Carnival cinnamon heuchera plugs. Then I did a little bit of editing in this part of the garden, so I added in 2 more Cimicifugas, also known as Actea. One is the old name, one's a new name. It doesn't matter, everyone knows what you're talking about. Diane Claire Pulmonaria, my favorite Pulmonaria, hands down, by far. Such a good look. And someone pointed out when I posted a picture of this on Instagram this week that it seems to hold its leaves up higher better than other Pulmonarias, and I totally agree. That's very true. The Astilbe that you see blooming here is Astilbe chinensis Visions. And then we've got Hacklencloa all gold through here. And then the grass that you see is Carex flocka blue zinger, same one that's in that pot by the garage. Plant with caution, it can get aggressive. I should have been here earlier because, the poppies only last for 1 day. So they all have dropped their petals. But, yes, this path is getting crowded out by these annuals. These poppies, I can just pull them out at any point. It doesn't bother me at all. But I have been bringing in bouquets of feverfew because it's so darn cute. I've been doing some planting in here as well. Oh man, every hosta that I think probably in last week's video, I showed you some of the hostas in here. I said, yeah, they're still doing good. Well, that ended last night. Rusty foxglove. This is a fun little foxglove. I'm trying to bring this path in. It just got a little wide, so I've been planting things along here. This is a little new, ouch, stick. New garden art. That was my Christmas gift. And we finally got it in there and mounted. I'm not sure if I love the rocks on the little stem there. We might change that out, but it's fun. I like things that move. It's interesting. I think I showed you all this last week. It's just notable that it's still blooming. Nepeta subsessilis blue prelude. I really think everyone needs to be thinking more about these Nepeta subsessilis versus the Nepeta Ficinianas or whatever the other one is, because they're so beautiful. Shasta daisies, looking good. That's the neighbor calling their curly-coated retriever. He's going to get yelled at real bad soon. Oh, hey, let's talk about this. Last week, I multiple times called this Syringium. Several people pointed out this is Echinops. Star Frost, I believe, is the name of this one. So, globe thistle is Echinops, not Eryngium. I had Eryngium on the brain because I planted a whole bunch of Eryngium in here about 2 minutes after I filmed last week's video. Oh, we're not gonna pop into the vegetable garden. Well, maybe let's, because you know what? We're getting our first sweet peas. Last week, I asked people for advice on the sweet potatoes, and you know, several people were spot on. They're like, Erin, I think it's just not warm enough. And you're 100% right, and I knew that when I went into sweet potatoes, that they want it hot. And it has not been hot here yet. I know that's just a killer for some of you to hear that. It's not been hot here yet. So they're suffering because they're sulking because it's been cold and wet. So I'm sure that's what the deal is with that. We have some sweet peas, finally, like decent sized ones. So beautiful little lavender ones. I do need to stick my nose in here. It's a requirement. Oh, you guys, if you have not experienced the scent of sweet peas, it is one of those things that will stick with you for the rest of your life. That's a really nice little bright pink one. Here's kind of a corally pink one. We've got some dark guys over here. I will pick a little bouquet for myself, probably. I got to come in and do more training on the tomatoes. They're growing at a rapid pace. No lotus flowers yet. I should probably stick some fertilizer in there. So I would think soon we'll see some lotus flowers, but I love the lotus leaves. I think this is why I grow lotus instead of water lilies. I think the leaves are so much prettier. Lots of snapdragons coming into their own. We have a good crop. I'm almost afraid to say this because something's going to happen. We have a really nice crop of Liberty apples this year. We also have some rust. It was such a bad year for that. Even though I was spraying stuff, like I don't know that I sprayed this one more than once. The lettuce is shot. So I will still eat this lettuce. You can see it's bolting. This is Salanova lettuces. I will still eat this week, but then it's pretty much done. It'll get kind of bitter at that point. Try as I might, I can't keep those clematis going in the right direction, so they're just going to go in that direction. I planted a bunch of beans. They all came up. Do you see Dorothy sitting? I don't know if you can see her sitting over there. She likes to sit over there and watch me. I would say the biggest thing that's changed since last week's, sorry about the wine glass, since last week's video is this area. Oh my God, what a welcome change this is. So if you remember last week, this whole area was full of sweet woodruff, which I like sweet woodruff. It's pretty. It went absolute gangbusters. I mean, I've never seen a year in which sweet woodruff has done what it did this year. So between me and Carol, who works in my garden a little bit, she was here for probably 4 hours one day this week, working just on this sweet woodruff patch. We were able to get it out of here, and I was able to plant this area with something that's much nicer looking. So I put in some Astilbe, I think it's Pumala is the name of it. It handles dry conditions better than any other Astilbe does. I got some Miss Piggy Bergenia. Everything at the hardware store is 50% off, so those were all 50% off. I put in a little bit of Carex. Is this Everillo? I think it is. We've got a Nandina over there, which is not hardy, but you never know. The planters here are looking really good. You know what though? Yes, I did spray them. I was just thinking I might not have sprayed them. Back in the corner there, I put some Stilbes. And now this area looks, I mean, it's just so much better than it was last week. This is Bowman's root, by the way, which can grow in quite a bit of shade if you like. Really pretty, beautiful little native plant. Galenia, I believe, is the botanical name on that. And then this is a Carex. I don't know what Carex this is. Lots of stripy, wide carex. It's nice. The Astrantia, which we've been looking at for a couple of weeks now, is still looking really nice. I have the water feature, the little pond, empty right now. I thought maybe I would include that in a video tomorrow, just what I do when I refill it. About once a week, I just scoop the water out of it and refresh the water. So this time of night, this view, and I wish there was water in it for this view right now, but this view, this sun coming through the trees right here is, I just think this is such a beautiful view here. I love it right now because you can see like a little bit of the Astilbe back in there just kind of coming through, lit by the sun. And you get to appreciate all the textures and the different shades of green. I think this is, this is the view for golden hour right here. Really pretty. I also did a fair amount of work to this bed, although honestly, it wasn't that weedy. I just needed to add in a few things and control, like the deer have been in here and got at the sanguisorba. Somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, don't the deer eat your sanguisorba? And I said no, and I was wrong. So I'm kind of filled this in with some different plants. I think this should be this is a very colorful, I call that the hot border. The Annabelle hydrangeas, everyone knock on wood right now, are not even remotely starting to flop. And I am sure it's because of the rain. I am sure once these flowers fill out, they will flop. I have no illusions that won't happen, but they're quite tall right now and quite pretty. This is another Haas Halo. This is like the hydrangeas that are over on the other side of the mosquitoes are bad, that are over on the other side of the driveway. I don't know, we've looked at this garden before. I don't think much has changed there. And I don't think a lot has changed over there. Maybe we have been a few weeks since we've taken a look at the Petasites japonica over there, which is, those leaves are enormous. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, I did a little bit of work over here in Roy's garden too. There were several things I had to replace in here and fill in some holes. So we did some of that, and we'll see how things, I put in some of that blue prelude here. I put in some additional salvias, and then I lost a lot of the Dischampia gold tile. So I actually put in Carex woodii in here. We'll see how that rolls for this year. The one thing that's doing really well is the Coreopsis. It's just going gangbusters. This area is in serious need of attention and rescuing from lamium, which I love, but it needs to be reined in. This was prettier yesterday. Oh, I see creeping bellflower in there. Avert your eyes. Things are great here. I'm sure I showed you Etoile Violet. That's Etoile Violet clematis. Some people couldn't understand what I was saying last week, and I know I'm a mumble mouth sometimes. Just keeps on trucking. Just such a really good clematis. I think we're probably going to film a bit of a cutback in this area tomorrow because things have gone rogue. Remember how I talked about staking the sanguisorba? And then I said, well, I'm probably not gonna. Well, I didn't. I mean, it's really quite a scene over here. So this part of the border has gone a little nutty. Sorry about that. Oh, there goes that damn rabbit. Like, he just pops out like nothing even matters. And it's not an attractive rabbit. It's not even a cute one. It's just like a Big old boy rabbit. I told you some things in the garden were looking ugly, and we're not going to get any closer because this garden is terrible. I have not touched it. I've not gone in there. It is such, I mean, I think a half an hour of weeding would change everything, but I got to get in there and do it because it's just overrun. It's so bad. So that is on the agenda. It's mostly jewel weed that's causing the problem. Also, I took note the other day that our gutter is growing trees, which is not, I need to actually weed so that we can actually get to the gutter to clean the gutter out. It'll make a good video probably to go over there and see how long it takes to get that cleaned out, because it'll probably change pretty quickly. The verbascum have gone really nuts. They're very pretty. They're starting to flop over there. I found that trimming them back, they'll rebloom for you. Here's another just really pretty view here. This is a dark reader geranium. White ones, Veronica. Ringo Rose is coming back from its rude deer attack. Skyward, I think. Pink Veronica. I think that's might be Skyward Purple Veronica. And then here the clematis up here. What is it? Alba elegantissima? Something like that. Is just blooming like nuts. And you can see these flowers are so interesting because they're white with these green tips. It's very subtle looking clematis, but it's blooming all over, and it has really made this Blue Magoo Picea Engelmanni look great over here. And I mean, mixed with the verbascum coming up through there, it's good. It's real good. Still looking good. Things that aren't looking good are these shaggy hosta blooms. Some hostas have really pretty blooms. This is not one of them. They're coming out. There's a lot I see, I would say half an hour of time spent in this garden would fix a lot of potential problems there. I will say the Hudson River clematis are still blooming down here. Those are still looking really nice. And we're kind of back to more or less where we started here. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope you liked that. A little programming note, there will be no garden stroll next week. So the next time we have one will be in 2 weeks. And I suspect the garden will change a ton because this is that time of year that the garden changes so quickly and it's just unbelievable. I'm hoping some of the containers really pop into their own in these next 2 weeks, but we will see when we come back to reconvene for the next garden stroll in hopefully 2 weeks. All right, have a great day in your garden. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.